Hello, warm salutations from Acclaimed Heating, Cooling and Furnace Cleaning. I'm Tammy.
I'm Kevin.
And we are meeting for a weekly Facebook Live. It's nice to see you again today, Kevin, and our people. We have a very creepy and interesting conundrum that we got from a letter from a client. You ready for the Dear Keven letter?
I'm ready.
All right. We've been running into a slightly gross situation. We have mice running through our vents as if they're escaping from Alcatraz. As you can imagine, this is giving family members the creeps as they scoot through there, but there's also a terrible smell when they perish. Ugh, gross. This smell vents through the house whenever the furnace comes on, which is often in this cold season of ours. Help, signed, the Great Critter Caper. That's funny and terrible all at once.
Yeah, it is. I wish that we couldn't relate to how a dead corpse of a mouse smells in the house.
Yeah, once you know what the smell is, you never not know what that smell is.
No, you don't. You feel like going and put some Vicks or some forensic cream on your nose. But it's that much worse, you have a dead mouse in your house, but it's that much worse when it dies in your ductwork. Mm-hmm. And we see a fair amount of that, probably once a month at least. One of our cleaning techs comes back with a nice picture. And of course, most of the stuff we take out of ducts, we never actually see. So there's a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's a place where they like to go because it's nice and warm, it's protected, they don't really have a whole lot of predators in there, but it's actually really hard for them to get into the duct. And one of the common misperceptions is that a mouse could get into your house, well that rhymes, a mouse into your house, through the venting of your furnace. The high efficiency furnace vents go out the horizontal way. Right out the house, but those are connected directly to the furnace, so they can't get out of there. And then you have your dryer vents, and you have your intake air vents and various things coming and going, and all of those are kind of closed on one end to the other. So the only way of getting into the house for the mouse through the venting of a furnace or fresh air intake or the stuff that we deal with every day is if there's a hole or if there's a disconnection or something of that nature. And moreover, usually when we find the mice in the house is because the mice are in the house already and then they get through a register or a crack in the ductwork, because ductwork a lot of times has pretty big cracks in it. And so that's how they usually get into the ductwork. It's not normally through those pipes for sure. Okay. So if you've got your connections on the outside of the house, that they have the proper screens on them and your ducting is in good condition, then you shouldn't have a problem with that. But certainly they end up there because it's a great place for them to be. Well,
and I think that what I've seen or heard is that the mice would come in from outside into a crack in the foundation, running along the top of the ducting, and if there happens to be a disconnect at that, they kind of fall in this place, and then once they're in there, that's where they stay. How do you get out of there?
That is where you stay, exactly. It's kind of like a closed little system. So once they get in there, it's probably like a little maze where it's like, can't remember where I got out, or if there's a crack in there. Maybe they got in there when they were little, and then they grew bigger. I don't know, but a lot of times, these days, we see a lot of poisoned mice. So, I really think a lot of the time, a lot of these mice that you see, they've maybe, ingested a little bit of poison, and that's where they go as well. So hard to say, but what I do know is that it's really disgusting. It smells terrible. So check all of those vents on the outside of your house. Make sure that they're good and secure. They've got screens or flaps on them. Yep. And make sure that you don't have any of those, ripped or opened or something of that nature.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what happens now they have this smell in their duct system. They know it's in the duct system because as soon as that furnace goes on, little Sally in her bedroom says it smells gross. And so now what can we do about that?
Well, we do a lot of duct cleaning where we're going to clean out stuff like that. Unfortunately, it's not just mice. There's all sorts of things. Anything you can shake a stick at, we've taken out of ducts. Yep. And so getting that duct really clean is step number one. Okay. And then step number two is disinfecting it. So we can do a disinfecting where we're kind of fogging or spraying it through, kind of like a mist. Yep. And then we can also spray it where we're actually wiping it on mechanically, so it gives it a really good coat. And that's what you can do to kind of get rid of the smell, but it has to be cleaned first. Yeah,
you don't want to do that disinfecting without doing a great job cleaning up the ductwork.
That's right.
Yeah, I felt a lot of empathy towards the critter caper, the Great Critter Caper, because I can imagine. Well, I know what smell, and that smell, Murphy's Law. It's the smell that it is the discovery that you discover the day that you're having a bunch of people over, and so then you have to deal with what am I going to do with that smell? Because it smells like rot. All right, so that the poor people. All right, so please continue. We love to hear stories and conundrums that people are facing and try and help out solutions for those problems. And we have something coming up next weekend. A week from today, we will be at the renovation show, which is...
We will. Next week we won't be here. We'll be at the show. No doubt we'll be doing our Facebook Live from the renovation show.
Yes.
Every year for how many years? 23 years we've been doing that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun for us to see our customers that we've met over the years and see them again, and we get to check in with them and chat with them. And we have some great show specials there. There's a great opportunity to see a lot of different vendors and things. And if you've never been to a renovation show or a trade show of the home and garden, there's a cornucopia of things that you'll find there.
Yeah, you never know if it's going to be the year of the ShamWow or the Sweepa or the Ginsu knives. They rotate, so you never know what you're going to get. I'm sitting on pins and needles with anticipation. Yeah, I really hope it's the Ginsu knife.
It's also really fun for us as vendors to watch all these people walking through carrying all the latest and greatest. It's a mop, it's a broom. What is it going to do? So that's fun. So the trade show starts next week, and it starts at I think it's noon till 9 on Friday. It is 10 to 9 on Saturday and 10 to 6 on Sunday. And it is a great show to take in. We actually have a draw for some tickets, and I think that Melinda's doing that draw today to get involved in those tickets. So if you have not done so, please go to that Facebook post that explains how you can win some tickets. I think the tickets are about $16 a piece or $12 a piece, so it's worth the travel for sure. All right, anything else to add, Kevin?
You betcha. No,
the government rebate.
Oh yeah, the government rebate. I almost forgot to say it, because there should be a 0 at the end of the rebate amount that they're offering, which is very generous of them to offer anything at all, mind you.
Yes.
But high efficiency furnaces, they just announced a rebate, and we've got that up on our website and Facebook as well. But $75 is something that you can apply for after you have a high efficiency, variable speed furnace installed, which is either a 2-stage or a modulating furnace. It has a variable speed blower motor on it, and that saves a tremendous amount of electricity when you're using your furnace to heat your house.
So $75.
$75. I really did think, oh my goodness, that's really irresponsible of them not to proofread this, because clearly there must be a 0 missing, but no.
Yes, well, you know what, every little bit counts for sure, especially if you're already purchasing that furnace. $75 will be a dinner out. So that's good. Totally,
and a nice surprise too. When you apply for that, it's 6 to 8 weeks, which is fair enough. Those things don't get processed overnight.
Yep.
But I know that for me, I'd do that, and 6 to 8 weeks later, I'd get $75 back, and I'm like, wow, it's like finding $75 in your jeans you haven't worn for like 6 months.
I've never found that.
You've never found
I've never found $75.
Well, maybe do you put money in mine every now and again?
No.
No?
I do not. Okay, thank you for spending time with us this Friday afternoon. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Don't slip on those walks. Put some salt down. And hopefully we'll see you at the renovation show next weekend.
Bye.